Hello, and welcome to the Influencer.co video explaining managers. A manager is a user. Instead of using their own social media following, they handle the marketing aspect and the money making of the posting of links on social media for other people. Things can get pretty complicated once you try to figure out what to post, where to post, or even when you should post it. A manager is someone that may not have their own huge social media following, but is experienced in figuring out what is working best in a given situation in order to optimize your traffic and money making capabilities. Managers can invite influencers, and an influencer can invite managers or other influencers. From there, the differences grow, and we'll be having to address each separately in order to show you both sides of our platform. So I'm actually logged into a few different accounts at once. So here we have Jake, our manager. We also have a couple of influencers right here. So as you can see, we have some influencer requests. And then if we look over at one of the influencers, we have Jill. And Jill has a pending invitation to Jake, manager. And we can furthermore look over here at Shane. This is the test account we created in earlier videos. And I have had an invitation sent to me from the manager. Now let's go back over to the manager and take a look a little bit closer at this. So here we see a pending invitation to Shane Influencer. So I have sent an invite using this form right here. This is the send an invite to influencers form. And I sent his information. If the email address is of a current user, then it will send an invite to that user. If it is not a current user, then it will invite them to come and join. And if they do so, it will then automatically create a request, an invitation request. So the way these invitation requests work is, again, that they can be invited on either side by a manager or by an influencer. Here we see a manager has invited an influencer. So it is on the influencer to see whether, oops, wrong one. It is on the influencer to see whether he would like to set this person as their manager or not. So here I'm going to go ahead and set Jake as my manager. And you can see that now Jake manager has now been updated as my manager. I can now pause or unpause him as a manager, and I can drop him if I would wish to no longer use him as a manager. If we go back over here and refresh the page for the manager now, we can see that there's no longer an invitation. He is now an actual influencer. So if we look over at the other request really quickly, we can see that this one was a bit different. This one is asking the manager to accept or reject the request. This is because in this instance, the influencer has actually sent the request to the manager. The way this behaves is very similar to the other way around. I can either accept or reject it. However, if I accept this, this is going to put me in the same state where if the manager was to have accepted the influencer, and it was going to ask the influencer at that point whether they want to be set as a manager. This is working this way because if you have several invitations for several managers, some people are dragging their feet, some people are not getting back to you, being non-responsive. Maybe you already have a manager, but you're waiting for this guy to free up some time and be able to handle your accounts as well. You would like to have other invitations and things going on, regardless of whether you have a current manager or not. So let's go ahead and set him as our manager for this influencer as well. You can see how that instantly sets it. For both of our influencers, we now have a manager. So I'm going to refresh the page of our manager really quick, and there we go. We have two influencers now, and we have no requests, which, again, we can invite as many people as we need, as many people as your manager account, as many influencers as your manager account can handle accurately without being a loss of your production. Then we encourage you to test the limits. Have 30, 40 influencers, as many as you'd like. So let's go ahead and move on a little bit and log in as one of our influencers. When you log in as one of your influencers, you're going to be subjected to the set of permissions that were set by this influencer. So here we look and we can see a link report for this influencer, which contains the various links that this influencer has created. And here we see the 2 links that we have created earlier in various tutorials that we have done on video. So let's go back over to this page and look again. If we were to log in as this influencer, it would instantly change who we are logged in as, or we could simply log out as that influencer. So let's go back over to the influencers section really fast, and let's take a look at the actual page permissions. So these permissions control the various aspects that a manager is allowed to see in accordance to the influencer's account. So let's go over these really quickly. Influence provides access to the My Influence page and allows them to be able to make updates on your behalf. This is helpful if they need to optimize your categories or target audience information. Perhaps maybe there's a sway in the age group or some of your target audience in respect to effective link sales, so they may have to adjust it. And then we have the social and social meta permissions. The social provides access to the social accounts section of your social page. They will be able to connect to social media accounts on your behalf. Note that they will also, if you have this permission, they should also have access to your various social media accounts in order to connect to them. Then we have the social meta, which provides access to the influence section of your social page. They will be able to change or configure primary and secondary publishing platforms as well as your region of influence. These are separated even though they're on the same page because it is very likely you may not want to have somebody control your actual social media account, but just set the configured region and or platform. Next we have the profile permission, which obviously provides access to your profile page and allows them to update the information therein. And then we have the payments page. This just provides visibility into your payments. There's no changing or updating of anything on that page, so they'll have no access to anything other than the visibility of what has been paid out or is going to be paid out to you as an influencer. If for any reason your manager is not performing, again, you can drop them as a manager or simply pause and unpause them for any various reason. Pausing a manager just stops them from accessing your account, instantly puts a lock on all the permissions, and stops them from receiving commission on your traffic. Let's go ahead and update the permissions for our manager to give him access to all of our pages. Now we can go over to our manager. We can log in as this influencer and see now that we have access to all of these pages. Each of these pages is identical to the influencer as they see them and is going to contain the same values that they have set. It is worth noting, though, that if you give your manager permission to these pages, you should make sure that you're not both making changes on the same page at the same time. You may also notice when you are a manager, if you are not logged in as an influencer, you are actually not able to generate product links. So if we come over to a generic search that I already have here, and we try to configure a link, no matter what the type is, sorry, we need to be logged in as an influencer to create links. This is because a manager does not have its own tracking according to the links. We need these links to be tracked to an influencer. So we need to go to our influencers, log in as our desired influencer, and then if we decided to generate a link for our shirt, we now can generate our links. We can also see here that I'm going to copy our link to my clipboard, going to paste our link in a new tab, and we can see that we are now on our product. So now if we go and look at the link report for our influencer, we can now see that we have a link named shirt with a single click. All the features of this tool, including the exporting, filtering, are available just as they are for the influencer and will only report on this influencer's links. There's another video going over the reporting tool in more detail if you'd like to know more about this. Let's go ahead and click on the link itself and go to the link page to look at this link a little bit more in detail. Here we can again see the same information that was available on the product info screen, and we can see that we have a click from us placing the link directly in the browser. And we have our notes. This is a good opportunity to write a note that said, we generated this link. So now, Jake Manager has posted a note on this link, about this link. So now if we were to go over to our influencer account, and we were to also look at our report, and go over to this specific link, we can then see that there is a note. We can also respond and pass notes back and forth. This can be used as placeholders just to have the information or to communicate back and forth. That is however you'd wish to use it. For more information about creating links, you can check out the video on product search and monetize link tools. And thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please apply and start making some money with Influencer.co today.